Hey, you might have noticed this video is going to be a little bit longer than the other videos. I thought it was kind of important to kind of give you a general overview of everything you have available to you, from the I'm just starting with notebook to some deeper features that are built in, and kind of giving you just a navigation of Smart Notebook in general, the toolbar, as well as just being able to effectively use Lab and Response. I think it's really important to understand who SMART is and where it comes from. SMART is an education-first company built by educators. So all these things that you're seeing are different updates and feedback we're getting from the millions of different users that we have, students and teachers, and what they need to do in that classroom. We're constantly updating things of what we hear based off these submit feature requests that you can enter in yourself. And it's not just pin updates and bug fixes. This is a lot of new things in every software update that you're going to have available to you. With that being said, I kind of think about different times when I have touch-enabled devices. When I have a laptop and I accidentally touch it and it doesn't do anything, I feel kind of stupid at times. I don't know if this has happened to you, but I think about the students that are growing up, that are in our classrooms now, that all they've ever seen is touch-enabled devices, whether that be through phone or laptops or tablets. That's just what they're used to, and it's weird if it doesn't have that. You also may have noticed when I've been talking and telling this story, the star has been moving around on your screen. Were your eyes following that star as I moved that around? Think about when you're in front of the classroom and you're just presenting a PowerPoint or project and you can't annotate, you can't move things around. Well, with your touch-enabled devices, you have that ability to do that. So the math and all the statistics will show in the studies that it's one thing to present, it's another thing to just talk about it. But when you can orally talk about something that you are drawing in that moment and being able to annotate, the engagement for students as well as just the retention rates will dramatically increase. So while using your smartboard, I kind of want to break down the notebook side of things into three different areas and sections. So we're going to have our presentation tools right here. We're going to have our creation tools, our creation tools, and then we're also going to have our simple toolbar that we're going to be interacting a lot with when we're actually presenting. So to kind of show some different options that we have available to us on the presentation side, you can add pages, you can take pages away. Maybe I want to go ahead and throw a screenshot in there so only half of this thing that can be shown, or maybe all of it, and just really releasing notes as you feel appropriate. So there's different options you have available to you. You also can do recorder mode, full screen really quickly. Some graphs can be built in there as well. One thing that I really like over here is our view screen mode. And we can jump to that full screen here, but I also really like this dual display mode. So in this, what you can be doing is you actually can be writing over here while a video is going on over here. So you can be going and working simultaneously. I'll show you some different things of how this can play out in a few moments, but I just kind of wanted to let you see that display mode of going through. Now, jumping into our creation toolbar, I'm going to go ahead back into single display for right now. But in our creation toolbar, we have our Smart Response and our Smart Lab. We're going to be going and highlighting those a little bit later, but I just wanted to make you aware this is in our creation toolbar as well. We are going to have our math, creating irregular polygons, so we're just kind of clicking around and then finishing off our polygon to be able to do that. We also have, and built in here, Math Equation Editor, concept mapping. So if I were to double click on this, get out of that line. So I'm just going to put our numbers in here. So if I were to write the number 1, I would jump back into my pen tools, which we'll highlight in a few moments. So if I just do 2 and then circle this, I actually can connect these. So then I'll do 3, and then I can connect this. So as you can see, we can quickly create these different numbers or letters or words or cause and effect, however you're doing your concept mapping, and being able to link these together. So there's some different options you have built in for you with concept mapping. I'm just going to go ahead and just delete this page real quick, then just add another page. And on this page, I want to kind of highlight our GeoGebra widget. So within our GeoGebra widget, that's built in. It's great for math teachers. So if you were to ever write an equation, I'm going to write this in red. So I'm just going to write 3x equals y. And with that, I'm just going to jump back over here to my pointer tool, be able to move it over, and it's actually going to graph that line for us. So any math equation you want to put in there as high level as possible, you can go through and do that as well. So it'll be able to graph parabolas and any type of line that you want. I'm also going to want to be highlighting, as we see this little add-on toolbar here, the puzzle piece. Something you also can jump over to. You might have saw this puzzle piece over here as well. Kind of have some creation over here that you can do. So with this creation, you're going to see that you already have GeoGebra on this side as well. So I'm going to highlight real quick. You just insert the widget like we would here. Or maybe we want to talk about fractions. So we have different fractions that we can be highlighting through. Maybe you want to go through the transitive property. It's built for geometry as well as algebra. So you have different things that you can be highlighting there. Another thing in this creation toolbar, as I add another page, is our smart blocks. Really great for your younger grades and different options you have available to you in terms of adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing, the power number, square roots. I'm going to go ahead and throw in this unknown in here. So this is kind of a cool higher level. It's the same concept for all of these and what you'll be doing, but I did just want to show what you have available to you in this sense. So if I were to take the number, and we're just going to write the number 4. I'm going to go ahead, and then now that we've written the number 4, I'm going to go ahead and connect that over to it, and it'll pick up the number 4. And over on this creation side, you have the different lines that you can put in there. You can put an attachment or a photo. So in the smart blocks, I'm going to go ahead and just type in frog. And we have different pictures that we can pull from in our gallery. And I'm going to go ahead and just choose this little frog here. And with this frog, a key thing that we're going to find is this upper right-hand corner drop down. So with that, I can clone this frog, but I'm also going to kind of show the infinite cloner for right now. So I'm going to go ahead and be moving this guy around. So you have multiple different frogs here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take off this infinite cloner for right now, and I'm going to go ahead and group these all together by dropping down, and now I'm going to group together, and as you can see, they are 3 frogs grouped together. I'm going to go back to my pen tool, draw that over. Now it recognizes the 3, so 4 and 3 become 7. You can ask your students, how did that happen? And you kind of give them that upper level knowledge of just kind of seeing what's going on. Another thing you may have saw was our 3D images. So if I'm going to go pop back over here, and we have our 3D images now. I actually went through and downloaded this through Smart Exchange. Some of this will be in our gallery, some will be in Smart Exchange as well. And you can kind of see, you can label and annotate these. I'm going to go ahead and jump back over to our dual display mode. And if I were over here writing something or typing, maybe I'll say cat. I'm just going to type in cat here. And then I can actually drag this over here, and these things can both interact simultaneously. So like I said, if we had a video going on or these 3D images, we can go ahead and link back and forth with this. I did want to show you Smart Exchange, so you have that and you understand what that is. Smart Exchange is a community website where students can go through and upload their own Smart Notebook files that they have already created. So there's actually over 60,000 here, and it's continuously growing. And it's also the same place that you can go through and download. So maybe you're searching for something on Civil War, maybe there's a particular topic that you're looking at in terms of subject, or even maybe a particular grade level or Common Core strand that you want to put in there. Now this isn't where it's a read-only mode. You can download these and you can edit them however you see fit. I would always edit them and make them fit how I wanted to teach, but at least give me a starting point with a lot of information already created for me on that topic. And also gave me different ideas that I could use as well. Lastly, in the idea of helping, I did want to show the videos that I've also created. You also found this video here, but please don't hesitate to use my YouTube channel to help you out in your own trainings as well. now that we've done the creation side of things, I'm going to go ahead and close those down and go back into a single display and add a page. So now that we've done that, I'm going to be looking at the different tools that we can be using. Now these can all be edited over here and what you can see. Maybe you're not seeing all the tools that I have up here because I've just customized this already. And how you would be setting that up is if I wanted to do a delete page or any kind of add-ons or tools, I would just be clicking and holding down and being able to drag and drop wherever I want to put those in there. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and just show our pen tools here real quick and the different colors that you have available to you, the different lines, how big you want to make, transparency. I'm just going to go ahead and put in here our shape recognition pen. So with that, I can go ahead and draw a triangle. I can draw a square. I kind of, it's a little bit weird on that triangle because I made it a little jet out a little bit, but there's a little better triangle. So it just recognizes these different shapes and creates them for you. You can go ahead if you would want, if I would take this fill in button, and I'm just going to go ahead and make this a light blue for my square or rectangle. And then something I'm going to show with this triangle, this drop down menu. Now with this drop down menu, as we saw before, the infinite cloner, maybe I would want to do show and hide my vertices. I would want to show my side links. Maybe I wanted to show my interior angles. So now that I can see my vertices, I can move these around. I can make this a little bit bigger. I'm actually going to rotate it a little bit. And I'm going to start moving this. And you can see the vertices change and move around with you. And then you can see the side links change as well. With the shape, like a rectangle here, I'm going to go ahead and actually divide this shape. So when I divide the shape, I'm going to divide it into, let's go fourths here. So now when we divide it into fourths, we have parts to whole. We've just created our own little manipulatives that have a fourth on there. You could hypothetically make it where you don't show the fraction as well, but you can quickly create these to have your own little fraction bars to manipulate and play with. Another tool that you have available to you is if I go ahead and write in here with I pick my new pen instead of a shape pen. So I click on my pen, then I go over to my pen types. I'm going to go ahead and just do my text pen. So with my text pen, it's going to be able to just going to write the word at here. So what it'll do with this text pen, similar to the shape pen as before, it's going to recognize it as a word. And I'm going to say at is what I was wanting. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit that. I also can go through and maybe I wanted to put a space in there. So I'm just going to draw a line, maybe 2 lines. Maybe I wanted to put a word in there. So I'll just do a little caret and I'll say letter M. It's going to recognize my M. I'm going to hit good to go. But now I didn't want that, so I actually want to get rid of these, and I can cast those away by just Xing through them. So you have the ability to edit through text and create text through those different pen types. The last pen that I did want to highlight is our Magic Pen. So in our Magic Pen, you're thinking, okay, what can this Magic Pen do to help me out? It actually is a pen that when you write, it'll disappear. So some cool things that I've seen in the past is if you were to write up here and you're talking with a younger group of kids and you say, what word is this? And they'll say, cat. So after they say cat and give them the time to talk about it, it disappears. Now I would write another letter and ask my class, okay, what word do you see now? Bat. So they're kind of practicing that hard at sound. So they're going away. Maybe you're going through and giving hints on a test and seeing who's paying attention on the board and putting that up there. Other things that you can do with this Magic Pen is actually go ahead and create a circle or creating a spotlight when you create that circle around there. The other option you have is if you were to create a box, and with that box you're going to actually be able to magnify what you're looking at. So it'll be able to grow what you are already looking at. So this is our toolbar over here with our different shapes, filling in. You have your polygons, so if you didn't want to do the shape recognition tool, you can put your own shapes in already. But these are all options available to you. So just a quick reminder, toolbar, you have your creation tools, and you also have your presentation tools over here. now I'm hoping we have a better understanding of our toolbar. I'm going to jump back into our Smart Lab and our Smart Response. So our goal was to be able to navigate through on Smart Notebook. So now effectively using Lab and Smart Response. So before we do anything else, please make sure you are signed in. If you are not signed in, it will not work. So you please go through and use your own login that you already have. I'm just kind of showing the setup, and now I'm signing in as we speak. So now I'm all set and ready to go. And if to verify, you would want to hit your profile and you can see your activity code. This is one way to pull up your activity code. There are other ways to do it as well. Just make sure you're signed in. All right, so I'm going to hop down real quick and we're going to go to our first activity here that I've already created. And with this, we're going to need to go ahead and see our activity code. This is the other way to do it. I'm going to go ahead and remove all the students from my list previously. And I'm going to go ahead and start my activity. Now what happens is I'm going to have multiple students kind of logging in here. And you can see they're setting themselves up and coming in as we speak. And I'm just logging in. This is on any student device. I have right now I'm using a laptop as well as my smartphone, and you can use an iPad or whatever else you would like to be using, or Chromebook. It's all web-based by going to classlab.com and using your activity code. I have a separate thing to do more details with this as well. So with that being said, I wanted to show this quick shouted out activity where students from those devices can shoot up ideas. So I'm going to go ahead and from those devices, you can see who's putting those in there as well. And you can see them thrown up there. Well, actually, engaged students would probably be more with the goal students. So an update we made is you actually can move these around to help figure out which one would go best. You can edit this in terms of number of contributions being made. You also have the ability to change the categories that are being listed up here to fit your need. Or you can just do a random idea of images and pictures, whatever you want to put through and have them kids send up here, you can do. I think this is a great way to get everyone's voice heard. I always ask teachers like, hey, what's the last lesson you taught? And in a large group of teachers, maybe one or two answer, and not everyone gets their voice heard. This way, everyone's voice is getting their voice heard. Project-based learning, you can aggregate your questions here. You can take a screenshot of it, come back to it later. It's just a great way to put a lot of different ideas up in a very short period of time. Our next lab activity, it's the same idea, still going in the same place to create this, what I'll show you in a second. You're able to go through and move these fish around and figure out who goes with who, see if you're right or wrong. I'm going to go ahead and answer one here. You can check your matches later. So I'm just throwing these in here, and I can go ahead and check matches. As you can see, it did not throw them out all right away. This is something that you can edit and change the way you would like to do it. So here's just a nice little sorting activity. Different things that you can put in here just for different ideas. Maybe you want to do it for math and you have your problems over here and your answers over here. Maybe it's a foreign language, then you have one word in English and you have another word in Spanish or Portuguese, whatever, German, whatever different things that you're trying to teach. Just keep an open mind. I'm just showing some different ideas that you have available to you. So when you're editing this, to change what you have available to you, like I said, do you want to make it where it's instantly checking or when prompted at the very end? So different ideas of setting that up. But I think it's most important, how do we set these lab activities up? All right, so with that being said, it's a 3-step process. You select what you want to do. What's the activity? You insert the content, and then you add the bells and whistles. Bells and whistles, you don't always need to do. So it really could just be a 2-step process, but I make it into 3 to give you the option. So let's go ahead and create one right now. So I'm going to go to my Smart Lab. So think about it as a monster kind of thing. It's gamified, it's getting things interactive, it's fun for students, it's a game. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this monster. And like I said, first step, what do we want to do? We have actually already seen a few of these already in terms of the shouted out activity. We're going to be checking out the monster quiz in just a second. We have already gone through and done the matching activity as well. So I'm going to show you our super sort. I know sorting can take a while. You have to cut out paper, maybe gluing things and going through and doing different ways of that nature. So I just want to do a quick sort and show you how quick it is to create this. So I'm just going to be sorting. This is what I saw in a kindergarten class one time. Vowels and consonants. So I'm just going to go ahead and type vowels, and I'm just going to type A-E-I-O-U. And what I can do with this is I can save this. So when I do it once, or maybe I want to send it to another teacher and they want to save it because we're in a PLC learning group, we can go ahead and save that. So I'm just going to go ahead and save this as vowels help kind of thing, vowels sort. And I'm just going to go ahead and save that. Now, what that means is when I come back in later, and I'm going to go over here, I can actually load an activity. So I'm going to go down to vowel sort, and I can just load that right in there. However, I've done it for consonants already, so I'm going to show you what that looks like. So I have my consonants. So then I'm going to hit next. And then, so after we put our content in, we have our bells and whistles. What kind of theme do we want to put in there? I'm going to go ahead and do the jungle island. It's always cool to be on an island. I'm going to hit finish. So there, our three-step process becomes complete. And now we're able to play at the board while we're sorting these. Or would you like to push this out to my students? So all I'm going to do, start for students, start activity, and now they're playing that same activity on their own devices by logging into that class lab. They don't have to go to a different website. It'll automatically draw them in on the website that they were already playing on the game and just switch them over to the next one. You could go to a different page on this presentation and you can continue to play the activity as long as you don't start or end the activity that's going on. So you have control of what's going on with those activities. So we just played 2 quick games there. Now I'm going to show kind of more of a formative assessment to be building that into your classroom. Just quick check-ins, maybe it'd be an exit ticket. So instead of going through and grading all the exit tickets and trying to figure out how well we did actually with math and like, okay, we got 20% right here, 20% wrong, or what questions do we need to spend a little bit more time on? We have a way that we can do that. It's what we call our monster quiz, which was just recently added in one of our updates. So I'm going to go ahead and start this. I'm just going to go ahead and start activity. And I have both of my students already on. It just automatically pulls them in as long as they're on the website. I'm going to go ahead and divide them into teams. I can divide them into all on the same team. I can sort them out. So I'm going to divide them into teams of 2. If I had more people, I could show you how you can move these around. So maybe a kid's better with another team that you want to put them on. You have that option to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and start this quiz. And I'm going to have them be playing on their own. So when they're showing up on their screen, so it'll randomize the answers. And as you can see, when one of them scores, you can say, hey, nice job, Luis, you got it right. Or as one of them gets it wrong, it'll shake. It won't tell you who the class is, but everyone on the team is being able to do and solve these. So I'm going to go ahead and quickly solve through these questions real quick and have a winner. So as we can see, we do have a winner. We can allow them to continue to play on if we would like. But I'm going to go ahead and end this. And what that happens on your student screens is when I hit review, on their screens, it'll show them what they got right. It'll show them what they got wrong, and it'll give them feedback. But as a teacher, you can see in about less than a minute how well we did on these questions. So we can say, hey, half of us put the answer as A, the other half of us put the answer as C, the correct answer is C. Probably want to spend a little time on this. If it's gray, I wanted to show this, that means they did not put an answer in there and they were cut short or they just didn't get around to it or they just weren't doing it. So this is as a class as a whole, gives you some feedback to where to direct your lesson. So I'm going to go ahead and click out of that. So when you're editing this, I'm going to edit this activity for us real quick. So when you're on this edit side of things, you have multiple choice questions you can put in there. So I'm just going to go ahead and add a question. You have your multiple choice, true, false, whatever you would want to put in there. You also have the ability, as similar to the lab, you can save these questions. You can load questions as well. So if I want to load a different list, I can put these in there. So you can be able to, once you do this once, you can go through and delete questions. So if I wanted to delete that, I could get rid of it, and we have that question already ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and exit out of this. So now we've seen a lot of our lab activities. We've seen quite a bit here already. We've seen our going down. We can see our matching. We also seen our super sort, shout it out. Where we just did the monster quiz. You have a lot of the rank order. Maybe you want to put that from least to greatest. You can actually customize it however you want to fit that in. You also have the flashcard model doing definitions. You can put pictures on there and put a word on the back. You can label. We have a label and reveal, maybe great for your science classes, for like anatomy class where you're putting a different body part up there. You can add descriptions, maybe like in this case, the stem of the flower, and being able to label that. The other side of things in that creation, which I mentioned before, was our smart response. So with our smart response, I'm going to go ahead and pull this up here. And what this allows is more of an analytical piece broken down by our students here. So with our students being able to do this, as you saw the more game side with the monster quiz, now we're going to be looking at more of a quiz side. So this isn't replacing your large exams. This is just kind of more of a quiz format, maybe a weekly check-in. This could be done at the end of class, beginning of class, just to see where they stand. It's going to be a different format for what the students see as well. I'm going to go ahead and solve these questions and show what the kind of the feedback it is. But I did want to show what happens when a student actually puts answers in. It will show on the screen of what they're doing, and you can see over here, Luis is already 3/5 the way done in his questions, and then Joe still has not started, so you can check them in as well. So coming back to you can see everyone has finished their results. So I'm going to go ahead and hit end here. And now I can get the feedback of how well my students did. So now we get that whole class thing so we can check in with our class and how well we did. And we only had 2 people taking it, but you can see how many of them did that. You can see the correct answer. The correct answer is C. One of us did that. So everyone did the correct answer here. So we have options available to us. If you guys are familiar with Wordle, you have short answer responses, and the more that you actually put in the same answer, that answer will grow. As you can see, they both put different answers in, so it's the same size. But the more answers from your students that are the same, that word will get bigger and bigger. I can go ahead and export these results to Excel, and you can see the red and green and break down by each individual student and how well they did. You can go ahead and export that through a CSV file to your LMS system in addition to that. So I want to point out this smart response right up here. If I go ahead and click on it, it's the same concept as we did with lab. It's one, select what you want to do. Well, we're going to want to do multiple choice answers, true, false, pull an opinion, like I said with that Wordle, short answer. The second thing is just adding the content. So I'm just going to go ahead and load in our questions that we've already done in the past. I'm going to go ahead and put president questions that we did from our previous thing with the monster quiz. And you can see we can edit these, we can delete these, we can add instructions in there, we can add a title. And then once we do that, I'm just going to go ahead and hit finish. And once that is finished, it's the same process as the lab. They're going to be going through classlab.com, same activity code. So there's no difference between lab and response. It's just what the format is in presenting that out. Now, we've seen everything in terms of our presentation tools, our creation tools, our tools in general that you can use to work with. Everything we've seen so far, we've hit the notebook, being able to do that. We've also hit the goal of being able to effectively use Lab and Response 2, both built through classlab.com, same activity code, same 3-step process of what do you want to do, content, and then bells and whistles are built in there as well. Please check out that video for bells and whistles and creating a class list roster to get more in depth on that. But the one thing we did not highlight that I would like for you to jump into separately videos would be to check out the Smart Amp that integrates with Google Classroom and allows you to do that way more collaborative piece that a lot of teachers are looking to do in that higher level, more student-centered, project-based learning style. So any questions you might have, please let me know. But this was kind of a quick rundown of everything that you would be looking at in navigating Notebook and using Lab and Response. Have a great day.